1,000 words ain't enough to define a body of, yeah. Caught her look and she wants it back. She's firing up that body up, yeah, babe. You think that I want you, but nah, babe. You're one in a million, but it's not for me. I'm not into girls with a plastic trace. Don't take it too personally, yeah. My fault, my bad. The word's out, but you aren't ready for it. Show off, appearance of I got this, but I
Let's go.
Gotta be hard on me now to know the truth. A bit confused, but there's a bunch of us out in the world who's just like me, not into you. Say, you think you the deal, you know nothing, babe. I want something real, not the custom made. I'll buy you a drink, keep you company. I'm sorry, that's all it will be. My fault, my bad. The word's out, but you aren't ready for it. But
Let's go.
1,000 words ain't enough to define a body of, yeah. Caught her look and she wants it back. She's firing up that body up, yeah, babe. You think that I want you, but nah, babe. You're one in a million, but it's not for me. I'm not into girls with a plastic trace. Don't take it too personally, yeah. My fault, my bad. The words out, but you aren't ready for it. Show off, appearance of I got this, but
Let's go.
Gotta be hard on me now to know the truth. A bit confused, but there's a bunch of us out in the world who's just like me, not into you. Say, you think you the deal, you know nothing, babe. I want something real, not the custom made. I'll buy you a drink, keep you company. I'm sorry, that's all it will be. My fault, my bad. The words out, but you weren't ready for it. Just put
Let's go.
You're always on your game during work time. Now, take the work out of game time. And creating your best edit requires time to make the right cuts. So, we help cut render times. Get the processing power to do it all. Join the gamers and creators who know the pure speed of AMD Ryzen processors. Those who know performance know AMD Ryzen.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the AMD Presents the Streamer Quest. But this time around, it's not going to be the streamer event. It's going to be the community event instead for Halo Infinite with Windows 11 and, of course, the Xbox Game Pass. Honestly speaking, CCV, I'm really excited for this one. Your boy Aggressive is here with my main man on the side. We have been playing Halo Infinite for a while. We've been hyped up for this tournament for a pretty long time. And finally, it's here. And we got to present it to all of you.
Finally, a tournament for Halo Infinite is here, brought to you
Oh
by
yes,
none other than
that's
the
true.
Esports Club as well. The first in the region. So all the teams that have registered, they have a chance to showcase their abilities, to showcase the level, the caliber that they possess. Because already, we'll have all sorts of different kinds of teams. We'll have a couple of, just a ragtag team of friends playing together, or we'll have professionals as well who may be a lot experienced in older Halo games, or perhaps other FPS titles as well, competing for a spot in this community event for Halo Infinite. There's so many possibilities. That's why the main thing is you don't really know what to expect with this community cup, just like you won't know at all what to expect with the streamer showdown that will happen later down the road as well, after a couple of days, where the actual streamers will be playing Halo. But right now I have honestly like a lot of hype, but at the same time it's a very weird combination of expectations I have. I want to see
Yep.
amazing plays, I want to see great action, but at the same time I want to see dumb stuff as well that teams somehow successfully pull off, which is obviously a classic of South Asian esports.
That is for sure, especially when you consider that there's no real professional scene for Halo just
Hmm.
yet, but we're hoping to
Yeah.
give the players a chance to prove themselves. And hey, if you guys love it back at home as well, we're gonna be bringing back a lot more Halo tournaments. I'm gonna be playing a lot more, possibly even compete in one if that's the case. But you never really know. That's the fun of Halo. This is a game
Right.
that has been pretty much the first game I ever played competitively, if I recall correctly. Because when I was younger, we all
Hmm.
had like a setup back at my old computer, like back at my old school, where the teachers allowed us to just play Halo 2, if I recall. Halo 2, mind you, that's how old it was. Back in the day on the computer, all of us had like a small LAN tournament when we played. So Halo holds a very, very uh, close position in my heart to be one of those games that brings back nostalgia. And now that Halo Infinite is here, everyone was hyped up for it. And a lot of aspiring pros are now coming onto the scene. And I'm really hoping that today we're going to be seeing them perform. We're going to be giving them the
Hmm.
opportunity to do what they do best, just frag out of their minds. Let's head on over towards the bracket, see exactly which teams are going to be playing. But at the same time, CCP, we don't know any of these teams. We don't know any of these players that will be playing on this team. But round
That
one
is
is
true.
already done. So, that's one point.
Yeah. Well and through with round one. Today on broadcast, we'll have all of the matches of round two. So every single quarterfinal you will see in front of your screens. You will later on see in its entirety. The best of threes will happen. All of the maps, all different game modes as well, and all of these teams in front of you as well. A lot of interesting team names. Some of them are half funny. Some of them are just what like hyping. Makes sense. QQC Esports, they seem like they are looking to be like aspiring professionals in the region. Maybe they've competed in other tournaments as well outside Southeast Asian tournaments, considering they were the teams that have already beaten GXR India 2-0 in the best of three. I have a bit of hopes from them, but still, it's way too early in the tournament to call anything. Then we have JBGN, and it makes you think, what exactly is the full form of that team? Like, is it just before good night? I would go for that. I think that's a plausible theory. Just before good night. That's my like the full form. Then you have gold diggers. Makes sense. You have apex bots. Then what is this? TRKDH117. You've got deadbeats versus friendinals as your final match of the day. But yeah, long story short, we are going to be seeing all matches of round two today. All of them are going to be best of threes, showcasing different game modes in each of them.
It's gonna be an interesting one, especially just as you say that the names are a
Hmm.
little bit on the much more questionable side for some of them, but
Yeah.
really excited. Halo is a game. It's about a lot of different game modes, and it is about having fun. When you consider
Right.
Halo on a competitive standpoint, though, it's a much more different type of game. You could be saying like Halo has game modes such as Stronghold, CTF, Slayer, Oddball, and all of those modes are based around team play and coordination about killing your opposition as much as you possibly can so that you can gather up the points, rack it all up, and then push your team forward to that certain extent. But the thing with Halo on the competitive level is that normally we always play on the casual side, correct? And
Right.
now we are playing Halo on the ranked setting. And on the ranked setting, you have to remember that friendly fire is activated. Now, with friendly fire on, things are a lot more chaotic because you could be healing your teammate out of pure accident. Let's say that your teammate is finding someone straight in front of you while you're holding the crossfire. there's a chance your teammate might just die because you misfire your shot or he just walks into it. That adds a different level of dynamic and flavor to the game of Halo in general. And with the massive sheer amount of power ups that are spread across the entire map, map control, communication, and of course, your team play and coordination of how you set up those crossfires and how you push your opposition will come into play. And I have not seen exactly how this region plays on such a fast paced game. Normally, we have seen games like Apex just reign supreme when it comes down to that
True.
department. Now that we are playing Halo, much more of the arena style shooter game, how do they want to play it? That's a question.
Interesting question because, yeah, like I said, I'm really not sure whom the players are. If we can have a recognizable face that we may have seen in other esports titles, that will certainly be a friendly face we'll all recall. But if not, which is I think for the most part going to be the case, I really want to see some names come up and stick into the minds of the viewers and all of us watching as
Yep.
well, so that we can recall them the next time we see them, perhaps tomorrow, day after, or in the following rounds of this championship. I really want to see a lot of new talent because it is a breeding ground, right? So far, like you just mentioned, all of these players, the major chances they may have had would have been either in their ranked matches, in their pugs, maybe a couple of Southeast Asian tournaments if they'd been there, had they played there, not really sure about it. Finally, we have an opportunity for all the South Asian members, for all the South Asian players, and they have a great chance to showcase their skill, which is exactly what they're looking for.
That is true. And back at home, ladies and gentlemen, you could be asking us how many matches are going to be played today. Just as you saw, there are going to be 4 games being played. Each game will be on a best of 3, and we're going to be following this format. Game 1, game mode will be played as Stronghold, game 2 as Slayer, and game 3 as Oddball. We are going to be going through a map ban system. The teams are going to be picking up the maps that they really want. They're going to be banning on what they want as well. And this is how the entire game is going to go on down through. The flow is
Mhm.
there, the positions are ready, and I really do believe that the most common maps in this game that pretty much every single team will just default to is streets and recharge because honestly speaking, those are the maps that I know in and out personally because that's the
Mhm.
ones that I played when I was younger. And of course, this is the game where it's all being played out. And hey, let's head on down over to the map video screen. And just as I said, streets
Oh.
and recharge. I called it, didn't
Ah.
I?
All right, so okay, I guess the only differentiating factor is going to be the different, game
Game
modes.
modes.
Starting off with strongholds and then moving on to Slayer, at least for the side of streets. And for the initial 2 maps, considering it's a best of 3, we may not see recharge. We may not see oddball if one of the 2 teams, JBGN or Gold Digger, they win out the first 2 maps in of itself. So for now, let's keep our discussion to the first 2 maps that we'll be seeing, which are the same. But I think just because of the different game modes and just because of their nature, it's going to lend to a lot of different strategies. What I want to see is, are we going to see a certain, because we don't really see this in other esports titles, that in esports you have different game modes. Usually it's the same game mode, just different maps. Here the thing is, teams not just will they have a better map. I mean, not really the case. Maps are kind of simple right here and not very complex or very diverse. So more so it's going to lend into the fact that either team is good on something like strongholds, weak on Slayer, or vice versa, or something else entirely. Are we going to see patterns like that emerge? Because if that's the case, the thing is, later down the road, once in semifinals we have best of fives, teams may not be as comfortable playing the same game modes again, and they may have to shake up their strategies.
The thing with strongholds on streets is that streets in general as a map is quite open. It's not as versatile as you would think. The different entry points that we do have on streets, the way that it plays out, it really does award a team that knows how to control the mid really well. But then again, CCV, you're gonna see
Mhm.
that when you jump into the game as well, that Streets is a map for strongholds. It's not one of my favorites because of how claustrophobic the map can be. It's too small. The amount of entry points that you can cover, the choke points that you can get a hold of just by getting one single power up,
Mhm.
just kind of puts you on the spot. You need to make sure that you hold down those power weapons at all standards and at all points. If you
True.
don't, if your opponents are able to take full control and you're at the weapons disadvantage, I think it's going to spell doom for you, especially on Stronghold, because you got to remember, in Strongholds, it's a double rounded thing, 250 points. Whichever team reaches it first is going to be the one to win. So the snowball
Yeah.
effect could happen at any second. And if it snowballs out of control, you could be at something like 50 points where your opponents are at 200.
That is true. Yeah, it is a lot of momentum based. And the thing is with the power ups as well, many a times what happens is teams are able to get them. But the thing is, they don't use them as often. I think that's the main thing. Teams are so heavily invested into getting the power up, regardless of what it is, that they just hoard it essentially. And it kind of sort of goes to waste, or it's not as resourceful as it could have been. That's something I don't want to see. If there is a power up, which there will be surely, and if whichever team picks it up, whether it be Gold Diggers or it be JBGN, you've got to make sure to use them to your maximum advantage. And most of them, you will be able to use it because of the nature that Streets is, like you just mentioned. It does lead to some interesting dynamics that I absolutely want to see. But at the same time, because of the close quarter nature, I'm not going to lie, I want to see all players in action. Usually what happens is, especially in a game mode such as oddball, what teams tend to do is, if they're making on the go strategies, if a player isn't having the best of days, he'll be the person securing the points, he'll be the person with the skull, whereas the rest of the members, they'll be out hunting, they'll be out killing the opposition. Here you can't really do that. You need to have map presence, you need to keep on collecting points, and obviously it's Halo, it's a first person shooter, therefore you need to shoot your opposition as well. There's no way around it. So I need to see a couple of things from these teams as a baseline, as a benchmark. And I think these teams very well know that as well, that all four of the members have to deliver.
That is for certain, especially
Mhm.
here where we are talking about the power ups that are going to be showing across the map, but we also
Yeah.
need to consider the different abilities that are in play. The special gadgets that they do have in their arsenal could change the dynamic and the flow of this entire game as well. Primarily, we already know what the generalized system is going to be. Someone's going to play a grappling hook, someone's going to play a thruster. Those two are the most common, and everyone's going to be running that.
True.
Like, for a fact.
Mhm.
But
Exactly.
the way that people run it is a lot more different. Grappling hook is not, I would say, personally one of my favorites for the map of Streets, because normally you can go anywhere that you want in
Yeah.
a pretty simple fashion. There's a lot of high roads and there's a lot of ledges that you can grapple onto and just play around that. But thrusters are quite powerful if you're able to utilize it properly. The extra little bit of momentum and the way that you can switch out how fast you move across the battlefield could just be the life or death for you to maybe get a kill or maybe just try and survive before you go in for a 1-2 melee punch. These are the
Absolutely.
type of factors that are going to be coming into play.
Exactly, you've got to survive. There's just no way around it. Because if you die, the respawn time is there, but mainly, the thing is, your team is going to be at a significant disadvantage, especially for strongholds. For something like, let's say, Slayer, I get it. It's similar to Team Deathmatch, right? Even if you're not there, your team can still be fighting on whichever front they are, on the top of the map, left, right, center. But for something like strongholds, you need to have all, like over the entire map, you need presence. If you don't, that's going to be more and more points racking up for your opposition time after time, second after second, and there is absolutely nothing you can do to stop that. The only way which you can do is contest them. So without a person being on board, you have no major way of stopping or like halting the points that your opponents are garnering for themselves. And it's going to be a very rapid system. Like you said, it can turn into a snowball effect. So many times we see teams go for this plan B kind of thing, that okay, if they have point C as their control, you know what guys, let's just focus on A and B, let's just go there, try to contest that, let's give them that. But in doing so, you're inherently giving up so many points that you could have had, so many free points that you could have had that now your opponents have, and they're just so close to reaching that objective. So yeah, you've got to be careful with how you play this.
Yeah, Stronghold as a mode, it kind of balances itself out by the way it
Yeah.
spreads the points around the multiple different fronts. But that's one of the other problems here. You have 3 points to worry about.
Yeah.
And the fact that you have those 3 points to worry about on a very small map like Streets, you can easily get shot from one point to the other point and you have no idea who's shooting you from there. That's one of the main reasons why I hate Stronghold as a map for, you know, sorry, I hate Streets as a map for Stronghold. I'm going on a tangent here, but
Mhm.
that's my own problem on this end. But let's just see how the teams are going to be playing, because one of the teams did choose this one after all.
True. True. But keeping that in mind, I'm not gonna lie, something like the drop shield can be effective as well. Because when you have such a congested map, you have a lot of places and you have a lot of ways with which the enemies can attack as well. And obviously, not always are they going to use their ultimates, are they going to use their rifles or their secondaries, whatever they have. They're going to throw their nades as well. Again, another, I wouldn't say very underutilized aspect of Halo, but to an extent, it's a bit underutilized, especially in my rank and all the rank matches that we've seen. Like, yeah, people don't use their nades as often. Use them. Just it's basic FPS shooter logic. Just use it if you get them. But apart from my own frustration, it can lead to some scenarios where if you're on a specific point trying to capture it, trying to hold it for your squad, you are going to get a barrage of nades, which is why you need something like the drop shield. Again, very common and very useful in the heat of the moment. And that's what so many of these abilities are. Like you mentioned with the thruster as well, it can be used almost instantly to help you escape a very disadvantageous gunfight. And because of that, you can survive longer, kill other opponents if you get the chance, and things along the lines of that. So you need those abilities already present, and then you can use them on the go if the need be. And that's a great example, and I think every single player knows that. There's absolutely no denying that. But again, that's something in theory that I would absolutely love to see in practice and in the actual matches themselves.
Yeah, completely agree. And are forgetting one of the other key points as well from all of this is the fact that grenades are possibly the most important thing in the entirety of Halo. If you are not able to use your grenades properly, you are not playing Halo to any extent. That is true because honestly speaking, Halo's grenades hold a lot more weight in the way you use them in comparison to the guns itself. Halo is a very, very, I would say, it has a very high kill time. It takes a
Yeah,
while for
that
you to
is
kill
true.
your opposition, and throwing one grenade
Exactly.
straight in their faces just completely shuts down their shield, and you just tap them in the head twice with your battle rifle, and it's over for them. What do you have to worry about? Or you throw a grenade in their face and then use a little bit of traversery and use your mobility to your best abilities, and then just punch them in the face once, and they're gone. There's so many different ways that you can push yourself forward that that's what's surprising about it.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That's the thing about nades is that as soon as they get rid of those shields, so much of that armor is. I mean, almost all of the armor is gone. The enemies are all extremely vulnerable, and you use that to your advantage. If you can significantly lower down the time to kill on average of your opposition, you are at a high advantage of not only winning the gunfight but overall achieving your objective quite faster as well. And I want to see something along the lines of that because that's going to be extremely helpful, especially in strongholds when you have a lot of players, grouped up, bunched up together, playing for something like trades. Trades is something we see far too often in so many esports titles, and it makes sense more than ever for a game with a high time to kill. If you have double the firepower, obviously the time to kill your enemy cuts down in half, basic mathematics. Also, if your opponent kills you, your teammate is there for an immediate trade, bringing down the man count from a 3 versus 4 to again a 3 versus 3, and then you respawn. Nothing too problematic in that as well. So, keeping all of that in mind, considering when players travel in pairs of two, trying to capture another like objective on one of the ABC, one of those points, or just are roaming around the map in trades, nades can be extremely helpful to bring down the shields of both of those members and then kill them as a solo player. Because if you're tackling multiple members, and unless you're trying to catch them off guard, unless you're hitting them from the behind or like shooting them from behind, it's going to be very difficult to essentially kill them because sooner rather than later you are going to die. So nades are going to be a very viable option.
Yeah, and with a multitude of different grenades also present,
Hmm.
some disrupting the abilities that they can use, and some just dealing sheer amounts of damage, while others are specifically built to take down shields. There are a lot of different ways you can approach the game through the usage of grenades, and I'm really hoping to see how they're going to be mixing and matching each other's grenades. Maybe one is going to throw for an ability using the EMP to completely shut down any form of the power equipment that they do have in their arsenal, and that's going to give them an edge. And also, you got to remember the overshields are there, and of course, the active camo. On streets, we don't have to worry about the camo because, as I just stated, it's a small
Yeah.
map, so it's not going to be present, but the overshield is still there. And that
True.
level of overshield can give you a strong edge against your opposition. That's why always fighting these overshields is very much crucial. If one player has that overshield, he or she can instantly turn the entire game on top of its head.
Absolutely so. I really want to see that. Not only will the teams be fighting for the objectives, regardless of the game mode we are seeing, regardless of the maps, but fighting for the power ups and the abilities inherently as well. Again, we're just waiting on the confirmation from the teams before we can see them fighting for all that stuff. But yeah, keeping all that in mind, it is a pretty interesting conversation. Keeping the overshield in mind, because it leads me into another point, is that who would really take it? Will a team designate, will a team have a plan that, okay, whoever's nearest to the overshield, and if you can reach there before the opponents kill you, take the shield as soon as it drops and then use it, get into as many gunfights as possible? Or many a times what happens is, teams will prefer like a dedicated fragger, just someone who either will have, just the forefront position of killing the members,
Or the
or
bulldog.
something like another power ups. Exactly,
A
the
bulldog.
the
A bulldog is
snipers,
possibly
there's
the best
interest.
thing.
But there's so many things that can happen, but at the same time, you have to stay versatile, you have to stay dynamic as well. And already we have Gold Diggers up against GBGN, and yet again, already we have seen a double kill right from the get-go. Alright, so from the looks of it, the side of GBGN, they only have 3 members. That is really unfortunate. I presume and I believe, one of their members couldn't make it due to technical issues. That isn't good. And with Jer dying as well, Gold Diggers have a really strong advantage, and they already have the C side under control. They're capturing A as well, and yet again, they have entire control. Now JBGN, they've moved towards the C bomb side, but every single member from GD is gonna hunt them down. They're throwing their nades, and they get another kill onto JR. So once more, all 3 of the objectives are under control of Gold Diggers.
Yep. One's gonna be trying to go in for the shots, and a beautiful melee, and one more to shut it all down. Hellcaster gets killed out with that, and Paradox. Oh wait, it's our Paradox. Well, that
Oh.
It's
Where's
our
One Tap
Paradox.
God and Master? Where's...
It's True Rippers.
No way.
Well,
No way.
Valorant professionals are here to play in Apex, and hey, Paradox is trying to go for a professional career in Halo as well. What game hasn't he played at this point?
That's 4? I believe that's 4 now. So it's Valorant, Street Fighter, Halo, which was the 3rd one, I forgot.
I think it was Apex as well. Oh no, it was Rainbow Six.
Was it?
Yeah, he played
I
in
don't
Rainbow Six.
recall.
But
May
we're
have.
going on a tangent here, but on the
Exactly.
other side, Gold Diggers are just completely shutting down the
They're
rotation.
going on
Look
a
at these shots,
demolition
man.
spree. Exactly. There's not much JBGN can do. I mean, already having a look at the points, Aggie, it's been 2 minutes. 2 minutes into the matchup, and Gold Diggers almost have 200 points. I mean, they're gonna have 200 points. That's gonna be a melee kill. Where exactly was Hellcaster looking? I'm not really sure. But 210 points for Gold Diggers, and this seems to be a very one-sided affair.
Yeah, that's all 3 points being covered already, and they're just rushing it down. Sadly, though, this is a 3 versus 4 situation as well. You don't have that 4th player, so it's getting even more difficult for you to even find anything. It's sad. Mid control's already being established, and Hellcaster gets it back in as well. And immediately, we just start the game, and it's already over. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Gold Diggers taking the first official map for themselves, and Strongholds is already done for Streets.
Okay, I guess. That was something.
Interesting affair, I would say.
That was a match. That was
That
a
was an
map.
interesting.
Interesting. Yes, interesting. But what was that? What in the universe was that play? I'm sorry. There was nothing. Like, we didn't have enough time to read all the players' names as well. We were focused on that. And the players, they went 250 and 0. Granted, yes, JBGN, they had 3 members, and the members of Gold Diggers as well, they were quite experienced in other FPS titles like we were discussing, but 250 and 0? It's like...
That happened way too quickly, even for me. They just got in there, picked up a couple of... they just... Let's head on down over to the match highlights, because it's hard to explain. They took all
Exactly.
3 points and then just went ham. They were forcing them into a corner and just beating them up, like saying, "Why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself?"
I'm sorry, even in the highlights, do we just show like the entire match replay since that's usually the length of a highlights? I'm not really sure. But Gold Diggers, yeah, very quickly they got that, and we can see just mechanical skill prowess for their side as well. All GBGN members just being a bit more inexperienced, I'd say. They were running around, but they couldn't really shoot. They had a lot to deal with. They were outnumbered, first of all, outskilled, outgunned, just outplayed, I guess. That's it. That's the entire one word to summarize it.
Be a rough one. The game just started and it's already done, and we're setting ourselves up for another one as well soon enough. But
Oof.
that was rough. I thought that okay, maybe it's Streets. Like you could understand why Streets is not one of my favorite maps for Stronghold. The points are pretty much
Exactly.
down in the open, and you can shoot a player from B, from C, from anywhere. You can shoot all the sides from A alone just by jumping up, and then you
Yeah.
can give some backup towards the B end while you're still protecting the A capture point. There's so much that you can do, but for now at least, the mechanical prowess of all the members from Gold Diggers just completely shut it all down.
Yeah, there isn't much to say. And I don't think for this quarterfinal, at the very least, there will be a lot to say. Hey, maybe the next game mode changes things. Maybe Slayer, but I'm not gonna lie. If something a bit more
Yeah.
tactical than Slayer is already going 250 and 0, Slayer, which is all based on kills, which is just entirely based on that, what's that gonna be? It's I really don't see a lot of hope for JBG, and maybe they can pull something off, but it's gotta happen right now. Otherwise, it's looking very, very bleak. The members of Gold Diggers, they are looking really good, and there's no stopping them for now.
Yeah, we're gonna be heading on down over into a short break though, ladies and gentlemen, because after this one, my brain is not gonna be able to process anything. We need to try and figure everything out of what exactly happened in this one. We're gonna be giving you a short break as well. We're gonna be setting up the second map for all of you. Don't go anywhere because we're gonna be right back with the AMD present the Streamer Quest with Windows 11 and Xbox Game Pass.
You're always on your game during work time. Now, take the work out of game time. And creating your best edit requires time to make the right cuts. So, we help cut render times. Get the processing power to do it all. Join the gamers and creators who know the pure speed of AMD Ryzen processors. Those who know performance know AMD Ryzen. you're always on your game during work time. Now, take the work out of game time. And creating your best edit requires time to make the right cuts. So, we help cut render times. Get the processing power to do it all. Join the gamers and creators who know the pure speed of AMD Ryzen processors. Those who know performance know AMD Ryzen.
Welcome back everyone to AMD Presents Streamer Quest powered by Windows 11 and Xbox Game Pass. I'm CC, joined alongside Aggressive, and we are bringing to you the Halo Infinite Community Cup, out of which we are seeing the quarterfinals today. And quarterfinal 1 between JBGN and Gold Diggers has already commenced, and if you missed it, well then I don't blame you. The first map was only 2 minutes and 10 seconds, something along the lines of that. It was a
You
pretty
blinked and you
quick
missed it.
deal.
Yeah, you blinked and you
Exactly.
missed it.
But yeah, having a look at the veto as well, it's the most one-sided you can get. Like, you can't get more one-sided than that.
Yeah, it has a 250 points to 0. That is rough.
Uh-huh.
And you gotta remember, Stronghold is one of the longest game modes in Halo as well.
Exactly. But yeah, keeping that in mind, unfortunately, what happened right there. Next up, it's gonna be it's gonna be Slayer. And yet again, seeing the prowess we saw already, I am a bit worried. I'm a bit worried for what lies. Because if you've already seen this kind of domination, like we were talking about in the prima, like after, as soon as the strongholds got over, if we saw something along the lines of that on strongholds, which is a little bit tactical, what's going to happen when it's an all-out brawl here in Slayer?
Yeah, in Slayer though, I honestly believe this is one of the better maps for Slayer as well.
Mm-hmm.
And now that we are here,
Yeah.
we honestly thought that Stronghold that was being played on streets was already a Slayer. Now we're playing the actual Slayer mode. So 25 points. And to reach that 25 points, I'm gonna give it. How long do you think it's gonna happen? Are you gonna be seeing an uproar from the side of JBGN where they're gonna completely decimate Gold Diggers? But I don't think that will be the case today. Not just yet.
Exactly. I mean, you need to reach 50 points before the enemy team. It will be fairly easy. Like, I don't think it'll be a lot of competition. So keeping that in mind, yeah, I really don't expect a lot of competition. But then again, I expect a little better from what happened on Strongholds. I really don't want to see 50-0 like it was on the previous one. I want to see a couple of kills at the very least.
It should be fine.
Yeah.
Honestly, I believe that 1 or 2 kills should be on the cards if they're just able to focus fire a single target. But
One
at
or
the same
two.
time, like the focus fire wasn't really present as well on the side of Stronghold, where you just had a bit more time to work with. It was so
Mm-hmm.
quick that I couldn't even like I don't know. I'm trying to figure out a way to try and give the side of JBG and some encouraging words, but then again, it's just doesn't feel right on that end. You gotta remember that whenever you're playing competitive Halo, at least, small mistakes here and there can just cost you. And I understand that maybe JBG and they're just a group of 4 friends who just got together, who wanted to play a tournament and see what it's like. But to go up against Gold Diggers right off the get go, and to go up against a big name such as Paradox and One Tap Got a Master, yeah, that's gonna hurt.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, but then again, I guess it's a learning experience. You get to go up against them. Yes, it's a whitewash, but hey, it's what you all learn at one stage or another of competing in professional esports. You are going to get a thrashing badly. For some, it happens in their first tournament. For some, it happens a bit later. You do find a bit success, but it's all a part of the learning experience. And perhaps the members of the opposing side as well, they can also learn from this. Already they are man down. They're playing 3 versus 4. I sincerely hope it gets resolved, but if it doesn't, if they have to continue this 3v4, it's not looking all too well as well. In any FPS shooter, if you're down a man, regardless of the game type you're playing, regardless of the map, the nature of the game, All of that goes out the window. What matters is you don't have enough members. This applies to any esports title, any sport as well, anything in life. If you don't have as many numbers as does the opposition, it can be a big disadvantageous factor, unless you're talking about an insta locker who bottom frags. In that case, a 4v5 is actually
Don't call me
good.
out like that sometimes. Hey, it happens to me quite often. Like when I insta lock. Okay, let's not talk about the other game right now. But moving on down from that, I'm really hoping that JBGN, they're gonna be able to get a little bit
Hopefully.
of a couple of kills at least, so that they don't go out of this tournament and their names stick to us. They're gonna be able to come back even stronger. But for now, at least, they're in a pretty tough spot, and we don't really know what to expect out of them. Gold Diggers, on the other hand, they feel like to be the team that could just win it all, considering the experience and the background that they have in other past titles.
And with how the results gone right now as well. I mean, we've been talking about it. I'm sure the players have noticed it as well. 250-0. It's got to be a big difference psychologically as well. Knowing that for the side of JBGN, you've lost 0 to 250. That's a big blow right there. You know, you can't come out of it instantly. It takes a lot to process all of that, knowing that you have lost in the way you have. But moving on, now we are on to Slayer, and already we can see that the side of the side of Gold Diggers, they are trying to point, but so far there hasn't been a kill. Now though, it can change. There goes the battle rifle, the shield goes off, and that's going to be Paradox getting a double quickly.
Well, Paradox had that double, and immediately one by one the players are just falling like flies. They're being swarmed from multiple different sidelines. Here comes the Stalker Rifle as well, lands on one of the players. And now, yeah, one of the power arts are gone, but still good usage of the grenades. Bulldog also enhanced. So many of the power-up weapons have already been taken over. And the fact that they have all these weapons in their arsenal just makes it even harder. Both players just pushed one side together and immediately dismantle the side of JBGN. Not much that they can do. Rocket launcher also in hand. Every single thing that they could have done to try and survive this is already going down the drain. Jayas gets taken down. Another kill in the hands of Jazzy. How are they gonna try and survive?
Yeah, already, you know, we are seeing a couple of minutes have gone off. Currently, the side of Gold Diggers, they are leading 9-0. And yet again, it's only going to be a couple of members away. Yeah, every single time both the teams engage in a gunfight, it's going to be this trio dying only. Hellcaster, he respawns. There is the nade throw right there, and once again what we're seeing is absolute domination. 5 kills for GameStar, 7 for Paradox, make that 8 for Paradox as he gets another, and the members are just dying and dying. There's no resurrection. Jaya also falls to the ground. Another kill. 14-0.
It's 14-0 already.
Not
Not really much to say. It feels as though the entirety of JPG and they're being forced onto a corner. Paradox on his gang are just hunting them down. They're all spawning over towards the other side, over on the main spawn point. They can't even get up the spawn. This feels like my first ever game of Halo.
Yeah, just, you know, every single power-up that's there, whether it be the rocket launcher, it be anything else, the members of Gold Diggers, they're just killing. Yet again, Jazzy goes down, so does Hellcaster. Nothing. Poor old Jaya, only person alive, even he is dead. And Gold Diggers, they are not stopping. They are showing no mercy. And there's nothing, absolutely nothing the opposition can do about it, no matter what they're trying.
Just about cleanup duty for the entirety of Gold Diggers.
True.
One by one, they're getting the kills. Paradox stealing all of them with GameStop. No deaths, by the way.
Way to victory.
In both the maps as of now.
Yeah.
Both the maps.
Oh, this is a statement for everyone else playing in this entire tournament.
I mean, yeah, fair enough. I guess it is. You know, any other roster that may face off against Gold Diggers, they'll have a look at this match and they'll see what has happened as we see the first kill for the side of JBG, and excellent stuff right there. Never have I celebrated one kill this much of a score than I have just now. But hey, it's a kill nonetheless. Jazzy actually has 2. That is something. But he dies again. So it's a start. Yes, aggressive. What we were talking about earlier in the pre-match presentation, that 1 or 2 kills should be the goal. Well, they have achieved that. But really, when you're playing for 50, I sincerely don't think that's enough.
Yeah, that's the thing. Remember what I just said?
Mm-hmm.
I want you to get really good if I'm bring this one back. Master's gonna be running his way down forward as well. And now they're just hunting. 36, make it 37. Guys are back as well. And I don't know, JBGN, it feels as though they're not shooting their guns. At least shoot.
Yeah, whenever they find an opportunity, they see someone, either they die before or they just completely caught off guard. In this case as well, Hellcaster tried to shoot. He threw a nade, as a matter of fact. I guess because he saw multiple members, so didn't
Wait,
really
they
result in
actually got
different
2
damage.
kills. They got 2
Oh yeah,
kills.
that happened before. That happened far before. That was the case, and the problem is, even with those 2 kills, not a lot has happened. Jazzy had gotten the 2 of them for his roster, but after that, oh, something could have happened, but again, no, not really. There's the power weapon, the alien weapon, sorry, right there. Can be of use, but then again, you put any gun in the hands of the members of Gold Diggers, they're gonna make quick use out of it, as they are on 44 points, 6 kills away from sheer victory in this quarterfinals.
This feels all over the place.
Uh-huh.
And at this point, yeah, maybe them getting those 2 kills. Couple of more. That's gonna be 46, 47. 3 more to go, and it's already done.
Well, alright, now it's just the aftermath. We are seeing laser goes off. That is another kill for Hellcaster. A
Okay.
total of 3 points for JBG, and they just need 45 more to equalize. And Gold Diggers need 2. So that's something.
Point. That's very much possible. Okay, no. I would say a 46.
That's that. Alright, 50 to 3. Well, that's quarterfinal number 1. Was it
Very eventful.
one-sided? I don't know. I don't think it was one-sided. No. It was quite close.
I guess so. Yeah, I'm just not gonna say anything. We're gonna be looking at the highlights soon enough when it's done,
Yeah.
and we're gonna be seeing a little bit of a frag montage from the entirety of Gold Diggers. They're the new esports organization playing in Halo, and if they're gonna be able to perform and if they're gonna be able to do what they do best, moving on down the line in the semifinals as well, you know for a fact that this team could just be the one to take the throne. But then again, JBG and I would personally say don't take it too hard because it's a very experienced team they've already gone up against. Maybe not as experienced in Halo, or maybe they are experienced in Halo. We don't really know, but their highlights when it comes down to the other titles, it's absolutely insane. Let's head on down over to the match highlights as CCB walks you right through it.
Exactly. Having a look at the highlights as well, it was kill after kill after kill. Yeah, there were 3 kills. 3 that JBGN got. But then again, like, I mean, is that really worthy or like noteworthy? Not entirely, I don't think. But I'd say that, yeah, it was a solid performance, but a lot of room for improvement. I guess this can be classified as just, yeah, really being outmatched. The experience the members of the opposition had was a lot more than the members of JBGN. So it can be one of those cases, maybe at a lower level, JBGN can actually win and they can get those points. But other than that, no matter what weapons were being utilized by the members of Gold Diggers, they were just getting kills. I mean, the highlights is practically a kill montage of everything along that line, whether it be Game Stud or it be Paradox, Master, One Tap God, every single one of the members was getting the kills. And it makes you ask the question, had there been the 4th player for JBGN, would it have ended in a different result? I beg to differ. I don't think it would have made a big change.
Yeah, unless the player they put on was experienced. This would have been a lot more difficult. You can see it in multiple different fronts as well, that Gold Diggers, they never took a 1v1 engagement, and even if they took a 1v1 engagement, someone was always close by to make it a 2vx or maybe even a 3v1 situation. And if a team is that proficient in just pulling around their manpower, constantly going left, going right, going center, yeah, it's just not gonna click into all of those perfect mods. Gold Diggers, they played it beautifully, and this
Exactly.
was pretty much a textbook Halo Infinite pub game in a way. No offense there,
Yeah.
but it is what it is. Sometimes you're gonna be going up against such an experienced squad, and you're gonna have a rough time. But it doesn't mean that you should be discouraged, because this is the level that you're trying to reach at one point with your raw mechanical skill, and that raw mechanical skill will soon shoot you up to the next big thing. You never really know. Hey, we're looking forward to seeing JBGN come on back in the future and possible other Halo tournaments that we're going to be doing to see exactly what they're going to be capable of. But for now, let's head on down over towards the bracket screen, see how people are going to be moving up, which match is going to be played on next, because I really do believe that Hyping versus QQC Esports is going to be an interesting one, because I remember watching QQC Esports playing against GXR India in the previous matchup, and there was a player called Venom who dropped about 15 kills during his old CTF game.
Is that the same Venom? I'm not really sure.
No,
But
not that Venom.
oh, okay. Okay.
Pretty
All
sure.
right.
I'm pretty sure it's not that.
Similar names, similar names. But all right. Oh, it looks like the squad of Paradox was JBGN. So I mean, yeah, the team name doesn't really matter. What matters are the players. What matters is the result. And honestly, I mean, the team names aren't really of that much significance right now. You don't really have a lot of esports organizations really into it. I want to see some big name orgs invest in Halo as well. But for now, yeah, we all know the brackets. We knew what was going to be the brackets as soon as map 1, as soon as Strongholds got over. No one could object to that. But now on next matchup as well, regardless of which one it is, I think now the fact that we've already had a first taste of Halo Infinite, the first thing is the game is still amazing. I mean, it released in December 21, but so far it's been phenomenal. Everyone is enjoying it, and so can you, the viewer watching as well. If you are watching this game for the first time, if it has caught your attention, make sure to head on over to Xbox Game Pass and get this game alongside hundreds of other titles, all available at a monthly subscription, or you can just get Xbox Game Pass on select laptops that feature the AMD Ryzen processors. But for now, we'll be featuring the short ad break as we bring forward to you the second quarterfinal. So stay tuned, keep watching, and we'll be right back.
You're always on your game during work time. Now, take the work out of game time. And creating your best edit requires time to make the right cuts. So, we help cut render times. Get the processing power to do it all. Join the gamers and creators who know the pure speed of AMD Ryzen processors. Those who know performance know AMD Ryzen.
thousand words ain't enough to define the body of, yeah. Caught her look and she wants it back. She's firing up that body up, yeah, babe. You think that I want you, but nah, babe. You're one in a million, but it's not for me. I'm not into girls with a plastic trace. Don't take it too personally, yeah. My fault, my bad. The words out, but you aren't ready for it. Show off, appearance of I got this, but I
Let's go.
Gotta be hard on me now to know the truth. A bit confused, but there's a bunch of us out in the world who's just like me, not into you. Same. You think you the deal, you know nothing, babe. I want something real, not the custom made. I'll buy you a drink, keep you company. I'm sorry, that's all it will be. My fault, my bad. The words out, but you weren't ready for it. But
Let's go.
You're always on your game during work time. Now, take the work out of game time. And creating your best edit requires time to make the right cuts. So, we help cut render times. Get the processing power to do it all. Join the gamers and creators who know the pure speed of AMD Ryzen processors. Those who know performance know AMD Ryzen.
Welcome back everyone to AMD Presents Streamer Quest powered by Windows 11 and Xbox Game Pass. I'm CCV alongside Aggressive and we are bringing to you the Halo Infinite Community Cup, out of which it is today, the day of the quarterfinals. We are already done with quarterfinals number 1. It was extremely one-sided to put it at the very least. However, we have the next match up in front of us as we take a look at the brackets.
Yeah, Hyping versus QQC Esports. This is going to be one that I'm really excited for because QQC Esports, they have showcased their mettle against GXR India, especially one of the players in particular. He has been going 1 versus 4, and our admins have been going crazy about him. Let's see if he's going to be able to perform in the same way, though, against the side of Hyping. Now, that's the real question as we head on down over towards the map Beto. And the maps are going to be pretty one-dimensional with live fire being on all 3. And in my personal experience, I enjoy Live Fire. Not gonna lie, it's a pretty decent map, but but at the same time, it's not one of the maps that I'm most experienced with. I understand why a lot of people like this map because of how open-ended it is and how much the area is so much more, let's say, it's not claustrophobic like a map like Streets, which are all about those close proximity fights. But here you have those long-range engagements where consistency matters.
Exactly. And one thing I'm looking forward to seeing is since it's the same map and there is a chance we may go to like the entirety, we may go to the decider map, we may go to like oddball as well, the decider game mode, shall I say. I want to see if teams pick up on any strategies or any sorts of flank, anything like that. Like you said, it's a pretty open map, not a lot of things for them, but any pattern that emerges over the course of all of the game modes, irrespective of what the game mode is, that the opponents can then use to exploit their opposition later on, maybe in Slayer, maybe in Oddball as well. Like something like that is a strong possibility because when you're playing 3 maps consecutively, which doesn't happen as often as you'd think, I'd say that, yeah, you have to make the best out of the situation. And I think the teams are very well aware about what they want to do by picking live fire thrice.
That just goes to show that I believe this is QQC's pickup because they also did pick up Livefire in their previous match against GXR India. So
Hmm.
it's their own favorite map, it's their own home turf, and if they're gonna be the ones to enjoy it, then I'm not gonna be the ones to stop them, that's for sure. We're gonna be jumping straight into the game. No delays whatsoever, ladies and gentlemen. That's a first. But hey, immediately you see the power-ups getting picked up, and god damn. You see, they're getting bashed a little bit here, but immediately they're gonna be able to answer back 2 versus 1 situation. The sniper rifle's not gonna be able to find that much value just yet, but instead, it is gonna be Cerberus trying to go in for that first initial pick up, and he does get it.
Two great shots from Cerberus right there. The members of High Ping, they are trying to counter back. However, they're just being cornered off. Look at this great, excellent positioning from Cerberus, getting another one for himself. And now we can just see sheer domination. Finally, there's a reply back as that's a great kill. However, it's quickly been traded out. So the members of QQC, they are slowly getting the capture points, but with the time being, at the moment, they're focusing more on the players as we see active camo right here on one of the members. He can get a sneaky kill. He's looking exactly for something along the lines of that. And QQC are getting those points, 25-0 for the time being. High Ping are yet to show a bit of positioning on the map. Well, now they are.
They're taking control of one side, but immediately they're getting caught off on the next. It's just a trade of points and blurs on the other side. A lot more, let's say, closer than the first initial matchup, but this is what Halo should be like, controlling over multiple different points. And ooh, Eliminator just takes down 2 players instantaneously. Double kill for the man from the side. And now control has been established, and no one is going to capture point just yet. The Grenades are going to keep all the members of QQC at bay. And High Ping, they're trying to hold down the fort, but for how long? They're getting bum rushed through all the members. They could just take the C point away, and if they do, they need to try and focus down on the other end. And look, this is so smart. High Ping, they're keeping this competitive by letting 1 point go away, but they're immediately trying to capture on towards the back end. C point has still not been captured, and with A being given away, QQC, they're now stuck in a pickle. They need to take over the C sideline, but still, they're gonna be the ones to try to fight it down too. They're gonna be the ones to survive. 8 points now gonna be captured, but again, C's under pressure, and only 1 player to defend it as well.
Yet again, QQC though, they manage to take control of all of the points currently. They have sheer domination, but B is under siege right now. Again, in the middle of the map, High Ping have left the sidelines. They're focusing right here on the center, but yet again, it looks like it can be the same result. All the members of their squad are dying bit by bit, and there's not a lot of ways they can stay alive. QQC also have the active camo on one of their members, aiding them even further as they have 89 points compared to the 2 that High Ping have. And already, yet again, QQC are looking very strong. They have control of almost all of the zones except for A and C, which have now gone to High Ping. So now, yet again, we are seeing a shift in dynamic. QQC are focusing more on getting kills, going for trades, and then capturing the zones, whereas High Ping are just looking for the zones inherently and looking to capture the points. And it makes sense because they only have 15 points. They need more, but in doing so, they just keep on dying.
They need to figure out a way to try and go for these fights together as a squad. They're giving too many 1v1 engagements away. And look at the power weapons of Bangler in the hands of Eliminator. He deals the damage, and his teammate is already there to try and back him up to find that final kill. Soul Screech, he's looking to see if he can find a kill for himself. Good tracking, good movement, and immediately the backup squad is there to get the final one. Good shot from the side of Terminator. Gets a well-placed sniper bullet and finishes him off with the Bulldog. Sorry, not the Bulldog, what is it? The Battle Rifle. And Cerberus, 12 kills for this man.
And
He's
3
been just
deaths.
tearing through this entire.
I'm sorry. As I focus on the deaths, I quickly realized no one else from QQC has died at all. No one has died apart from him. Exactly, but mainly because of the survival time of the other members of QQC being so high. Well, now Eliminator has died for the first time. They are all over the map. They have entire control. They can roam around freely, go for trades, and play wherever they want. As we see Camo back up again, all these power-ups, all these weapons going in favor of QQC Esports, and Hyping don't really have a lot to show for it with the battle rifles. They are trying. They're throwing nades as well, but what they don't have are enough points, and points is the objective. As we see a great melee kill right there, close quarter combat, you know, it's Halo, it's gonna be a melee fest. But more so, it's a fest to get the quest of these zones, and that's exactly where QQC are successful, getting control of all 3 yet again.
The fact that they have all 3 of these points, and there's no way that the Hyping can even push their way forward. This is a very competitive fight. Look at the way that UPC are playing. They're playing together as a squad. They're not taking a single 1v1 engagement, and their aim is just on point. The tracking is absolutely beautiful. And this is the level of play that we are really hoping to see. And with this, ladies and gentlemen, I really do believe that UPC, they should be able to take it easily. 20 more points to get it all down. 1 point has been captured by Hyping, but I don't think it's going to be enough. It's not custody.
Exactly. I mean, from the looks of it, that's going to be almost 250 points. Just now, Hyping give it one last push, trying to capture C, but the other side's being taken control of by QQC. Yeah, there's nothing they can do about it. Nades being lobbied from everywhere, and it's going to be QQC Esports with an excellent performance from all 4 of their members, actually, securing strongholds.
You know for a fact that when you see those skins that, yep, these guys know what they're doing. They spent money on the game, and they are gonna bring in the pain, and they're gonna bring in the hurt. PPC Esports, they played it beautifully. Positioning was perfect. They wrapped themselves around the map. They had control of all of the power weapons. They were using the camos to not only get to the capture points, but also try and get as much information as they can for their team. The way they played around the mid, it was really smart. They didn't go in overly aggressive. They were not hunting down for kills, but instead they were playing the game of Halo as it was meant to be played. They captured the 2 points and they held it down while still putting pressure on the multiple different flank routes that you can go in for towards the back end of the other sidelines. On, let's say that some player is already on the C side, they immediately just be like, hey, the C point, we're just going to give it up. We're going to push the point that they already have captured because only one player is holding down over towards that C sideline. So let's say if they push over to that C point, then they're giving up a lot of map control, which the players on the A point that has already been captured, they're going to start pushing up towards B and taking over B, and we cannot push that B side anymore. It's really smart the way that they were playing, and as we head on down over towards the match highlight, all of that will be put into consideration as well. How the rotations are coming through for QQC, you can see it on multiple different fronts that these guys, they did not play overly aggressive at all. Just look at them. Like previously on the previously where gold diggers were considered, they were constantly pushing for kills. They were running around the entire map as if they were hunting down chickens, but here, that wasn't the case. This was a game purely based upon map control and team presence.
Absolutely. Even, yeah, this is one of the instances where we saw Hyping. They all grouped up towards C, and they were like 4 members. Now, for the side of the members of QQC, they soon realized that almost the entirety of their opposition was in that one zone. So the 2 players that were there, they backed off, they scoped in, and only then did they start taking the gunfights. And it was really, really smart gameplay, and it allowed QQC to just individually pick off the members of Hyping, and there really wasn't much they could do about it. No matter the guns they were using, no matter the angles they were holding, Hyping just couldn't seem to get a hold of their enemies, and they couldn't kill them at all. I mean, towards the end, again, having a look at the deaths on the side of QQC Esports as well, it just paints this extremely one-sided picture that, yeah, their members just weren't dying, and they were getting far, far more kills than the deaths that they conceded.
Nades also didn't really get that much value, and right at the very end, a couple more kills, and they ended it all off. It felt as though there was a discrepancy in mechanical skill, but I think there was a much more bigger discrepancy when it came down to the factors of communication. And if this is what Stronghold looked like, Slayer's gonna be even more one-sided, because Slayer is a place where you're not really going for capture points. You're going in for full four-man rushes against your opposition, trying to isolate a 1v1, shut them down, and immediately changing your crossfires and changing the focus fire angles that you're holding over onto another side. It's gonna be tough. But
Totally.
hyping, they have a possibility of just bringing it all back. But for now, we're going to be heading on down over in the short break. We're going to be setting up game number 2 for you all. Don't go anywhere because AMD presents the Streamer Quest Halo Infinite Community Tournament with Windows 11 and the Xbox Game Pass. We'll be back after a short little break.
You're always on your game during work time. Now, take the work out of game time. And creating your best edit requires time to make the right cuts. So, we help cut render times. Get the processing power to do it all. Join the gamers and creators who know the pure speed of AMD Ryzen processors. Those who know performance know AMD Ryzen. You're always on your game during work time. Now, take the work out of game time. And creating your best edit requires time to make the right cuts. So, we help cut render times. Get the processing power to do it all. Join the gamers and creators who know the pure speed of AMD Ryzen processors. Those who know performance know AMD Ryzen.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the AMD Presents the Streamer Quest with Windows 11 and Xbox Game Pass. This community tournament has been pretty eventful and very interesting in the way that it has all played out. And in that sense, this matchup as well has been a pretty, let's say, one-sided one for sure. But it's been a little bit closer than the first initial game. Let's head on down over towards the map video screen one more time. We're going to be seeing the first initial game going in the favor of the side of Hyping. Yeah, sorry, Hyping. And it's just, I don't know, man. How is this going to play out now?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I expect the same result. I expect Hyping to take the second map as well, just because of the amount of, like kills that they got. Now, there's a bit of a redemption arc for QQC. It's the fact that due to the fact that now they'll be a lot more kill oriented. We saw that early down the road on Strongholds, they were a lot objective oriented. Like they really just went for the holds, for the zones, and then they started killing. Here, since there is gonna be no concept of zones, you just have to play it like a team deathmatch. They will be focused on killing. I think, and I sincerely hope they roam around in pairs and something along the lines of that, because that way is the only thing that's going to help them. If they go alone, unless it's like one person looking for lurk plays or flanks or backstabs, something like that. If they go for like together, if they go alone, they're just going to individually get picked off one by one by one, and there's gonna be no chance for the side of QQC to win the ordeal whatsoever. It's going to be, yeah, it's going to be like a 55, 56, 57, something like that. And I expect a score along the lines of that. So keeping that in mind, Hyping certainly have a big advantage right now, and I think their gameplay isn't gonna change. Whatever they did on Strongholds, considering it's the same map, they're gonna do it yet again, and there is a strong possibility they'll be successful once more.
Hyping and their performance there against the first initial map just goes to show that map control plays a massive basis on how they play around this entire scenario, because Livefire is one of the few maps in Halo where you need to have that proper level of coordination where you know exactly how to take the 2v1 engagements, because the map is extremely open and there's a lot of different flank routes that you can always go in for. If you're able to take control of the flank routes, and if you're able to make sure opposition is put on a massive chokehold, there's not really much you can do to try and circumvent all of the different avenues that your opponents can take. And QQC, they have not really gotten any space to work with. In Strongholds, at least, you have a little bit of space because your oppositions are giving away one of the points so that they can push maybe B or C and take a 2-point lead for themselves. But here, it's not really the case. Now you're fighting for kills. This is a team deathmatch setting. And considering the aim potency that we did see from Haiping, QQC could just be in pretty much the deep end here already.
That is true. Yeah, mechanical skills have already seen it, whether it be experienced players from other FPS titles or it be just, sheer, just sheer team play and like, outsmarting your opponents as well. No matter what it is, so far the teams have had a pretty one-sided advantage. And this is the kind of gameplay that improves over time. Like you can counter strat in the heat of the moment. We know a lot of players who can do that in different esports titles using different tactics, but something like improving your mechanical ability takes a lot of time, and it's something that happens individually, different for everyone else, different for every other person and the role they play, the archetype, no matter what. Yeah, you can't really improve your aim within 1 hour. If you could, trust me, I'd be the first person so I could install other certain characters and just top frag, but no. But yeah, for the players as well, it's something that's gonna take time. So like we always say, use this like a learning opportunity. Make sure you keep the ward handy of this matchup of both the game modes if you do end up losing, so that you can study it and like rectify all of your mistakes, not just like tactically but also strategically. What all problems you had, how can you overcome them, etc, etc. Because if you're only playing one map, chances are your other maps aren't quite well as well. So I would say that the teams can absolutely go for diversifying their map pool, and if we do see them again in the near future, maybe we'll see them being strong on some other map, maybe Streets, Bazaar, or something like that.
It's all about the small changes here and there that can bring in that level of change. But I think that Livefire is pretty much one of the best maps for Hyping, and Hyping being in that position just puts a damper on the plans in the way that QQC really want to push their way forward. But sadly, they're not giving the same level of performance that we did see with them playing up against side of GX or India. So either it could go to a 1-1 or it could just be the most one-sided affair that we have seen. And in that sense, I'm really hoping to maybe just get a little bit of a change up, or maybe a little bit of a switch up that could just give them that opportunity that they need to bring it all back. But the makings of a good team is there on QQC Esports, but I haven't really seen them perform in that regard yet
Yeah.
on the way that they were moving around the map. At the bare minimum, I did see them just, try to gain some control, but they did it on an individual level instead of as a team. And I'm really hoping this time around they understand that, start taking much more of those 2v1 engagements, start focus firing their opposition. That is the most important thing in Halo. A lot of players think that, oh, I'm going to shoot this guy, you shoot this guy, and maybe you're just going to win. No, the better way to do it all is to just focus fire a single target, give a call out. Okay, fight the player named A, and just forget about the B player.
Yeah.
And then you take the A player down, and then you reverse your focus fire onto B. Then you have two people shooting the same target, or maybe the B player is trying to shoot your teammate while you're both trying to take down one. So at least it was a 1-for-1 trade, and then it is a fair 1v1 engagement being done already. That's going to give you much more advantages. Halo is a game where you don't need to take things solo. It's impossible to win a game of Halo solo because you don't have that level of utility on you to just survive for that long. So play with your team, play around the different avenues that the game allows you to play around the power-ups, because I don't think I've seen a single one of them use a power weapon. And that's
Yeah, QQC really didn't get their hands on the power weapons. That's going to be my next point. Even again, right now we can see that the members of... Oh, yeah, already we have Terminator, one from High Ping. Get that power up.
Power weapons.
Ready. Exactly. And oh, that's one kill. So good start for QQC. But still, the members, Cerberus, he hasn't popped off. He hasn't gotten his first kill yet. As I say that, it quickly changes and he's looking for more. It's just sheer domination from this point on. Whatever kills you can find, whoever you can find can soon fall victim, as there's the Wrangler. Oh, this can be interesting with how Cerberus is playing.
Deal a lot of damage really quickly, and that was a little bit too close. He got caught off guard, but Cerberus does have the reaction time to try and get it all back. This is gonna be even more fun on this end. Eliminator means what he's gonna be able to take down a couple of more, and immediately the alien weapon does deal the damage that it needs to take down the final. We're already seeing 8 points on the board for the side of High Ping, and one by one they're just adding it all up.
Exactly, having a look at the members of QQC Esports as well, you can't really notice a lot. Yeah, they're taking the gunfights, but like you said, they aren't focus fighting. One of the members was focusing on the guy on the left, the other on the guy on the right, and it was just a massacre. Both of them end up getting picked off. Why? Because they just lacked the individual skill in the moment. Had they looked for equal gunfights, had they focus fired, like you said, it could have been a 1-for-1 trade. Not all too bad. But this is a bit bad, and it can be worse for QQC if they aren't really going to act on it. 13-3 is the score. 14-3. And now, okay, he is just popping off. So I'd say that so far, yeah, it's such a one-sided performance from High Ping. 17-3, and I don't see this going any other way other than another win for High Ping.
High Ping should be able to try and bring this one back easily. Like, it's theirs for the taking. They're already taking the fight. Just look at them. They have so much control on every single avenue. Another kill going on their favor. He was traded finally, but his teammate was already there, and he just needed to reload his gun. If he had bullets, that was another free double kill for them. And one by one, they're just able to take full control. Power weapons still under their bag. And these battle rifles are just tearing through everyone. These headshots being landed. What's giving them that edge. They're trying to survive. They're running on away. But how long can you run when you need these points? And you're gonna be the ones who hunt it unless the hunter becomes... What just happened there?
I am way too stunned to comment on this. There goes the eating up again. Beautiful shot, and yet again, Cerberus, this man cannot be stopped. But more so, Eliminator on 12 kills and a single death. I mean, it's his time to shine right now. Previously, it was Cerberus, but to be honest, every single member from the side of High Ping is just popping off right now. There really seems to be no stopping them. The dominance QQC had in their first match against GXR India is the same way in which they are losing to the members of High Ping. And right now, I do not see an end to this. Well, I do see an end. It's going to be 17 more points for High Ping, and they should be able to rack it up. However, QQC can very quickly deny them that luxury if they are careful, as we are seeing more and more kills flow into the favor of both the teams to an extent, as there was an attempt for no scope. What exactly happened right there? Did he run out of ammo? Could have been the case.
Possibly. Because that wasn't a situation where you would say it was a good one, but I guess it's fine still. Hey, here comes the overcharge. Now that extra little bit of shielding is gonna give him a massive boost when he's trying to take these fights. Shield is decaying over time, but if he's not even gonna get shot, that overshield, it's not gonna do that much here. Moving it down the line from here though. All the members of QQC are over on one side, and a Terminator, he knows he's in danger. He doesn't get out of that alive. And this is smart. They know when to retreat, and they know exactly when to back off. That's what's giving them the edge here in all of these runs.
Yeah, and it's the same backup plan as well. Near the mid area, they're just using the tunnel. They're just dropping down, and QQC cannot contest that. And the members of Hyping, they're taking their gunfights alongside that area as well. It's really helping them secure a lot of kills, or like you just mentioned, in very dangerous and critical situations, allowing Plan B, a method to fall back to their side, as we see a bit of a die down. But with 48 points, this is gonna die down very quickly, and so may just be the chances of QQC qualifying further into this community cup, because Hyping just can take this. That is another kill, and that is going to be victory. So we have our winners of our second quarterfinals as well.
It was really quick.
That's done.
Honestly speaking, if it wasn't live fire, I honestly believe this match would have gone down quicker, because live fire is a very sizable map. You pretty much saw one player could hide at any corner. You need to hunt them down quite often, so it's really difficult to find those perfect amount of kills. But oh my god, was that very one-sided. Couple of kills here and there for the side of QQC, but Hyping and their performance was just phenomenal. Chef's kiss level of phenomenal. They knew exactly what they needed to do. They knew when to back up. They knew when to go overly aggressive. And if one player is already in the middle of a fight, someone's close by to give backup. That was the primary key point that we always need to highlight. And yeah, why are you saying this? That's pretty much what we all should do. But on a competitive level, where this is the first ever tournament of Halo and teams are just starting to get into that groove, as we head on down over into the match highlights, you're going to be seeing that as well. Why am I always highlighting these team crossfires? Because to have a team that already knows how to do this at this level shows the making that they have given a lot of time and practice into perfecting their craft. Like already, just look at this. Two players are in constant engagement. And of course, we saw a team kill there. I did not notice this before, but that was a team kill. Oh god, that's just sad. But hey, you gotta take one for the team, right?
Friendly fire zone and can always lead to situations like that. But this absolutely led to very interesting scenarios, and yet again, yeah, we are witnessing that the members of Hyping, not only did they have better positioning, but the power-ups as well, the alien weapons, the sniper, the overshield, everything was just allowing them to get kill after kill. There were so many times we witnessed the snipe on them, and them picking it up as well, going for those power-ups, ultimately led to sheer victory for their side in quite a dominating fashion as well. Yet again, this wasn't a close call at all, not just in the mode, in the game mode Slayer, but overall in the best of three, it was just Hyping. Yeah, that's it.
Bing just had that better opportunity. They had the better communication, and they just had a little
Exactly.
bit more practice. The practice is where it all comes down to. If you have that aim, if you have that good level of game sense, just all brings it on back. Hyping, they're going to be able to take both maps in quick successive fashion. And I really do believe that Hyping versus Gold Diggers, it could just be the icing on the cake for this entire tournament. I'm going to call it for now.
Oh,
I'm going to
yeah.
say both of these teams are going to be up in the running to get that first spot. But let's not get too excited just yet, because anything could happen. Moving on down over to the brackets, ladies and gentlemen, we still do have two more games for all of you. Apex Bots versus TRKDH 117, and of course Deadbeats versus Friendinals. Both of them could be an interesting one, but
I don't
then
know
again,
what to expect. Yeah. I mean, I'm really not gonna lie. Seeing Hyping right now, seeing Cerebrus, Terminator, Eliminator, Souls Reach up against the members of JBGN, and you
wait.
have.
I think I messed it up. It was JBGN who won and Gold Lakers who lost.
Yes.
Yes, it
Yeah.
was a mess up on my.
No worries. But who's gonna mess up in this semi-finals? That's the thing, because I don't think either one of these teams will. This is gonna be raw, like aim. That's it. I'll be going for them again. For all the viewers as well, our semi-finals and the finals will be best of five. So we'll see a lot of these two rosters. But for now, Creative, I think I'd like to stay in the moment. I'd like to focus on the two maps we have upcoming: Apex Sports TRKDH, Deadbeats, Frentinels. I'm looking forward to it, yes, and I'm looking forward to a shakeup. I'm looking for something close. Okay, we've had enough of one-sided 250 zeros, 250 13s, things like that. I think it is time we see a close competition because we'll finally get an appetizer. That's exactly what the qualifiers are. They're an appetizer to what you'll see later down the road in this Community Cup. And with already 2 qualifiers being done and dusted, I am looking forward and I really do have high hopes for quarterfinal number 3. But for now, to prepare and to showcase to you quarterfinal number 3, we'll be taking a short break. So stay tuned, keep watching, and we'll be right back.
You're always on your game during work time. Now, take the work out of game time. And creating your best edit requires time to make the right cuts. So, we help cut render times. Get the processing power to do it all. Join the gamers and creators who know the pure speed of AMD Ryzen processors. Those who know performance know AMD Ryzen.
1,000 words ain't enough to define the body of, yeah. Got a look and she wants it bad. She's firing up that body up, yeah, babe. You think that I want you, but not, babe. You're one in a million, but it's not for me. I'm not into girls with a plastic trace. Don't take it too personally, yeah. My fault, my bad. The word's out, but you aren't ready for it. Show off, appearance of I got it, but I got.
Let's go.
1,000 words ain't enough to define a body of, yeah. Caught her look and she wants it back. She's firing up that body up, yeah. You think that I want you, but nah, babe. You're one in a million, but it's not for me. I'm not into girls with a plastic trace. Don't take it too personally. My fault, my bad. The word's out, but you aren't ready for it. Show off, appearance of I got this, but I got.
You're always on your game during work time. Now, take the work out of game time. And creating your best edit requires time to make the right cuts. So, we help cut render times. Get the processing power to do it all. Join the gamers and creators who know the pure speed of AMD Ryzen processors. Those who know performance know AMD Ryzen.
Welcome back, everyone. You're watching AMD Presents Streamer Quest powered by Windows 11 alongside Xbox Game Pass. I'm CCV John alongside Traciv, and we are bringing to you the Halo Infinite Community Cup. We've had a little bit of a break, but now we're back showcasing the final two quarterfinals that we have remaining, the final two set of best of three matches. And yet again, so far the two matches that we have witnessed have been quite one-sided, but we hope that now onwards things do get close, because the players, they are increasing in caliber round after round, kill after kill. So let's take a look at the next matchup we have and the maps that we'll be seeing.
Yeah, and it's gonna be a multitude of different maps instead of being the same one over and over again. Stronghold being on streets.
Yeah.
You know my opinion on this one. Not really one of my favorites. Slayer is going to be
Exactly.
on Recharge, and Oddball will be on Live Fire. Oddball on Live Fire is going to be a hectic piece for sure. Trying to find the exact player and then finding a position where you can hold on to the ball for the longest of times before your opposition takes you down. But Slayer Recharge is one of the tried and true tested game modes and tested maps for the entire Halo. Stronghold on streets, though, I've already told you how I feel. So,
Yeah.
I guess.
Maybe we'll
stuff
see a
like
different result. Who knows? Yeah, one really can't say for certain. You won't have the sniper, but you'll have the alien weapons. You'll have all the power-ups. Plus, I want to see Apex Sports, their roster, the roster of TRDH as well. And I've just been trying to conjure up any possible full form of TRDH, and still I'm blank. I'm not really sure. Today, rest, day, home. I got no clue. Nothing.
I'm just gonna say it's fine. Hakuna Matata.
Yeah. I mean, Hakuna Matata
I
is
wish there was a
HM, but
team. I wish there was a team that actually gave the name of Hakuna Matata on any tournament or any esports. I personally would love that. I could make so many jokes out of it.
In the meanwhile, I mean, I'm just trying to think what to expect now, because we have seen all sorts of players. We have seen players who have just started their journey in Halo Infinite and who are like not that experienced, but we have seen a lot of experienced players, not just in Halo but in other titles as well, play. Where does this match rank up? To one extent, yes, there is a possibility this can be another one-sided affair, 250-13, 250-0. But on the other hand, I really want to see a lot of back and forth, especially on strongholds. So, without any further ado, let's go into streets, let's go into strongholds, and let's see how this starts off. So, we've got TRKDH, I'm just going to call them TRK, and
Do
we've
you
got
know what
Apex
is
Bots.
this? 117 refers to one of the Halo 4 OSTs. I just googled this. It's one of the Halo songs.
Ah. Then I believe the H in TRKDH would stand for Halo. Now it's just a mystery of TRKD. I'm still blank. Alright, but these bullets sure aren't blanks. They are real bullets, they are firing, and they are killing. I mean, Hefty Geo has gotten 5 kills so far. He is progressing at an absurd rate. However, members of Apex Bots, they still have C control. Now B control has been given up. So TRK, they are gaining a lot of map control and they're getting these kills as well.
Apex Bots are in a really tough spot. They're trying to go into these fights, but still the shots are just not connecting on the same level as TRKDH. The fact that they have this level of performance going for them already, with Hefty going in for 6 kills already. He's been racking up them points, and already we see 50 points on the board. They need to start setting themselves up. If they don't, the stronghold match is going to be another upset there pretty much. But instead, ooh, Apex bots, they have got it for the 2v1 engagement. Taking down that first initial player is going to be crucial for them. And already the B side's being taken over. Now TRKDH, they're in a pretty sticky situation. They know they need to give it up, and they're going to be immediately running it down over towards the other sideline. But the Bulldog comes in clutch. That's going to be the first. Come on, get one more. That's going to be a punch in the face, and that's going to be the survival kill from the side of Zev Gaming. Beautiful shots from him. And now they have all 3 sidelines, I do believe. But no, the 8 point, it's going to get taken over. The rocket launcher is going to be able to find that first initial pickup. They need to find the skill to try and take down the rocket launcher. Finally, the power weapon question. And TRKDH, a little bit of a sticky situation for them, because now it's going to be Apex bots being the ones to finally show a competitive route where they have now taken 2 points and only 1 stands for the side of TRKDH.
Yeah, but okay, they're quickly taking A control as well, and yet again, the overall point tally is favoring the team in purple right now, alongside the kill tally also favoring their roster. You can see Geodoc9, I mean, this guy is fragging out of his mind. 9 kills now, as he gets 1 with a nade as well. And Apex bots, they don't have a lot to show for themselves. They are taking these gunfights, but mind you, they aren't winning a lot of them. Plus, map control wise and overall, the footfall that the members of TRKDH have is they're spread over the map, and they're getting kills at every corner, every angle you peek. There will be someone from TRKDH. The drop shield pops through, but not in the nick of time. There's still a casualty that the team in purple have to face. There's the peek through right there. That can be a kill. That is, matter of fact, gonna be a kill for Ignatius, as Apex bots are looking to, at the very least, neutralize the points that both teams have. But TRK, they still have a significant lead, and now Apex bots are really honing in on the kills. However, it's still leading to unsuccessful results. At one moment, 3 of their members were dead.
This point, with all of the capture points now finally on the side of TRKDH, it's looking to be a little bit more dicey and a little bit more competitive. But just as we were saying that, Apex bots do take point for themselves. This is smart from their end. The fact that they have this much control could just give them that level of edge. But the grenades are just being thrown out. That's going to be a beautiful double grenade onto the face of Hefty. He's going to get taken down. And Hefty got 13. That's going to be a rough one for him. Over on all fronts. That's an Apex bots. They got that second win that they needed. They're racking up the points slowly but surely, and they also have the capture points to go on their side. But still, the point margin has not yet been capitalized upon. You can see it's only 122 points going up against 35. They need more points to work with. They're going in for kills, but they don't have the fronts. Good shots though from Hefty Geoduck9 to get that first initial rack up, but not just yet, because there's a sticky spot. That's a double melee straight to the face. The Fisticuff's better than the weapons in this arsenal, and the Bulldog also in the hands of Hefty Geoduck.
Not to mention the A stronghold. That's exactly what he was going for, and that's exactly the result he got. He got it for his team. I think that's what matters, because now the members of TRK, they have all the strongholds for their side. The point generation for Apex bots has gone off, as we're seeing the alien weapon. However, it won't work in the favor of TRK. No, Karan, he gets a kill, and Apex bots, they're still looking for more and more of those kills. We've had a bit of a dull moment right now. The players still looking for those points, and the members of Apex bots, they are on multiple fronts trying to capture them. They gain back hold of C, their long lost point, but they have to push even further, considering TRK are nearing 200 points right now.
250 could be right around the corner. The first initial map could just be over before it even gets over the second half, and this is going to be a difficult one. 250 points is not that much now, and they're going to hit the 200 mark in 3, 2, 1. One kill. One kill would already happen, but instead, it's going to be the side of Turbine being the one to change it all up. He gets those 2 kills, gets the 2 points, and shuts down any form of lead that could have been generated by TRKDH.
Yeah, yet again, now it's going to be Apex bots being a lot more, objective focused, focusing on the strongholds, focusing on the points. Now, talking about the kills, alright, that may just be a kill for Zeb. Yes, it will be. Alright, the melee worked out for him if the bullets hadn't. And well, the bullets were about to be missed. In this case though, Zeb, nah, unfortunately he succumbs to his illnesses. That's going to be a kill for Apex Bots, and considering the fact that Apex Bots are in a strong suit right now, they just have to maintain consistency, not give away points to TRK, which TRK are really trying. I mean, they have control of C, they are contesting A. Are they going to be successful in taking it? Yes, they will, and they do reach the 200 mark, but quickly A is going to be taken by Apex Bots, and A is a very congested, very contested site right now. How are both of these teams looking to change up their strategies? Well, we know what the team in purple want. They want to try and regain B control. However, Apex Bots are not letting them.
The fact is that Tires is been completely shadowed over, and finally we see a resurgence inside of TRKDH. Eagle being in the ropes and trying to get this frag up, but still the frag grenades are doing so much damage. It's going to be the first initial kill, but one of them is still alive. He's going to be able to take down two. Ignatius, he's going to be able to shut down the hopes and dreams of the side of Apex Bots. He has now taken back the control of the C sideline, but immediately as soon as he got that C point, the other players, they know what to do. Apex Bots, they take it all back. And somehow they're possibly going to make a comeback happen if they're just able to hold on to these 2 points. They don't need a massive lead. They just need to stop the members of TRKDH from gaining back these points. And this is the first time we have seen 2 teams going in full competitive against one another. Both of them hitting their shots, both of them being able to show dominance when it comes down to their mechanical consistencies. But at the very end of it all, Apex Bots, they're showing much more consistency when it comes down to having back control and also playing around the points. Just look at them. Even though they're holding from the right side of alley, they just have that level of control that TRKDH is not gaining. They're not spreading themselves out.
Oh, ho, ho. A total of 3 kills in an instant, almost simultaneously, and TRKDH, because of the rocket launcher, are in a massive advantage. They are generating those points now, and A is still going to be under their control. They just need to go for it. 225 points almost. So they are nearing victory. And this late comeback that Apex Bots are looking to make, well, it may be denied to them. They have been on the hunt. They have been trying to, capture back the points that they had lost. However, they may fail at the end moment if Zeb keeps on meleeing members. That's another victim to the melee. Current falls down, and Apex Bots, they have to rise back up. They have B control, they have A control. However, TRKDH, they're just looking for those kills. 240 points right now. Quickly they can garner more. Is it going to be another melee kill? It will be a trade, as a matter of fact. 25 kills, Hefty Geoduck 9, and now his squad may be on the verge of victory. Apex Bots, they have to do something about it.
It's done and dusted. I think. Maybe Apex Bots are going to be able to survive for a little while longer, but to ask for a comeback here, CCV, oh boy, that's good. This comeback is going to be a difficult one. He does also have a Bulldog in hand. That's going to be one of the capture points already being given away, and the winning team will be side of TRKDH. A strong start from TRKDH is one of the main reasons why they were able to even take this entire map, because Apex Bots, they showed consistency a little bit too late though. That's the part that hurt the most, because I saw Apex Bots just completely switch out their strategies. They were trying to bring in something a little bit more different. They had the map control. They were going in for the different points, while okay, they followed the same strategies of high ping. Like in the previous match, we're going to use that as an example. High ping gave up one of the points completely while still holding the other 2, because you have to remember, in the game of Halo, whenever you're playing Stronghold, if you hold 2 points, then your opponents are not gaining any points, because kills don't matter here at all. You can get kills, but you're not going to get points out of it. It's all about capturing the flags. And the fact that they just held down those 2 points so well, Apex Bots, even though they did not get point C, they completely put a stop in any form of lead, that could have been gained from the side of TRKDH. And if they were just trying to compound on top of that, but it really just didn't work out in their favor. The power weapons were not on their hands. Every single time I saw a Bulldog or a rocket launcher, it was in the hands of the opposition. And we're going to be heading on down over into the highlights so that we can relive all of those moments, and you're going to see exactly what I mean. Yeah, you have consistency. Your team is able to play around the different points. You were able to play together as a squad and go in for 2v1 or 2 versus 2 engagements. But at the very end of the day, Halo is not just a game where you capture the points, where you just have to play with the weapons you have in hand. There are so many plethoras of weapons that you can go in for and just try and fight over. And if you're not able to take control of that, then you're not playing Halo, man. You're playing something else.
Well, Apex bots, they were playing the smart game, especially later on. But thinking about, what happens in the next game mode as well on Slayer, I have a lot of positive and a bit pessimistic thoughts as well as to what exactly will happen for their roster and if we will see a decider map. But for now, for the side of TRKDH, great first win. They showed their dominance. Yes, kills don't matter. They were still getting it. I mean, they were moving all over the map, and at times it did feel like they were stagnating a little bit, especially with getting back these strongholds, because they were taking their sweet little time. I guess that was maybe because they knew inherently they still gained and they still owned a lot more of the map control, and because they were killing their opposition. But whenever they were trying to get control of these points, just like we're seeing in the highlight right now, they were being denied on many instances. And yes, they did end up getting control, but it costed them a lot of lives and a lot of resources.
That's going to be the painful one here, but at the end of the day, I really do believe this will be a little bit more of a competitive system. This was just a map of Stronghold where kills were pretty hard to come by, and kills don't really give you a lot of points. So Apex bots in that standard, they were getting a good amount of kills. They were able to shut down and nullify their opposition and take a lot of aim kills that they were able to win out on. But at the end of the day, you really need to remember that, hey, it's about capturing the points. But as we do head on down over onto the Slayer game mode, that's where I think that Apex bots could just be able to rise up to the challenge and take down TRKDH, because currently they are showcasing a good sense of how to play the map because of the fact that they're playing around the power-ups, but power-ups can get you so far. It's those small nifty changes here and there is what's going to give you that level of proficiency, because on recharge, this map is very open. There are multiple different sidelines that you can get caught out from if you are not aware of your surroundings. And even the power-ups that are spread across the entire map and the weapons that you can get out of them are too far in between. This is where the recharges are going to be present. This is where the overshields are going to be there. And when you have that, you know for a fact that we could be looking at a very close set and a possible map number 3.
We absolutely could be. And I really do want to see that. At the same time, Apex bots, yeah, they were playing a lot of objective oriented, but towards the latter stages, like you mentioned, they started going for those kills. That is a bit of positive for Slayer, because now kills are the only thing that's going to matter. One thing I do want to see that is difficult in Halo, especially with all the movement mechanics, all the powers that are there, such as the grapple hook, all that being said and done, is that, specifically like player specifying and like shutting down a singular person. There's a specific term for that. That is a bit difficult to do. Someone like Hefty Geo.9 on the side of TRDH, he was popping off. I believe he had like 20 kills or something like that in the 5 or 6 minutes we witnessed the map of Strongholds. So if they can specifically shut him down, especially on Slayer, it's going to be a big win for the opposition. However, it is really, really easier said than done. Apex bots, I think they'll be playing for a far more balanced, far more neutral kind of play, where they'll just be trying for, to get as many members as possible, plain and simple.
That is for sure. But let's just see how it all plays on down through, because you have to remember that this is still a pretty strong lead up from the very beginning. We're not going to be going into any breaks, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be straight into the next matchup, because I know for a fact you don't like us when we get down for too long. So in that sense, and already the overcharge is there. Oh wait, no, that was a camel. My bad. I did not notice that initially. Camel could be good here to gain some information, but that information is already being capitalized on. Pushed on in, and oh my god, a backstab on a ward to save this buddy. 2 points already on the board, and ladies and gentlemen, it is gonna be TRKDH going in for a beautiful startup. That's how you do it. That's how you use camo to the best of your own capabilities.
Look at the duos in which TRKDH are forming as well. Well, now Geo.9, he finds himself all alone. He needs to find a way to escape, or the assistance of his teammates, which will be provided. That's 1 kill, and it's going to be another. Current from the side of Apex bots does get 1 kill, but he's the only person alive. Respawns will go through. However, TRKDH have a really good footing in this map so far. That's going to be a very quick trade. Karan went for the melee. He was successful, but yet again, TRKDH are playing by the fundamentals of not just Halo, but a lot of FPS shooters. They are going for those trades, and that's exactly what's working for them, as they currently lead in the points, but it's a very close battle, and slowly but surely, Apex bots are making a comeback. This is going to be a fairly heavily contested, perhaps even a slow game, where we may not see a lot of kills, because so far with 8-6 we aren't really seeing much. Just trades happen left, right and center, and if these teams keep on playing for trades, it's going to be a nail-biting affair as to who exactly wins Slayer.
Energy weapons are here, boys. Here comes the sword. I want to see that, but go for it. Go for the lunge. But they're not. Oh, come on. Okay, no, honestly speaking, don't be like me. Whenever I get the energy sword, I just start jumping around everywhere, trying to kill my opposition by trying to get behind them. I've died way too often with the energy sword that I've lost.
Yeah, that's me with almost all weapons. However, these players, they have to make the best out of the weapons. I mean, we can see, like, look at how grouped up they are. They are looking for those trade kills, however they're being denied. I mean, that's one kill for Northern Bloom. He has been cornered off from many angles, another melee kill, and again, look, the members of Apex Sports are genuinely being cornered off. You've got the camo on Geoduck9, one of the most deadly players, perhaps for now, the most deadly player. He's got the energy sword as well, will be successful, gets one kill, can get another before he dies. No, it's gonna be a trade.
The damage being given though, the bare minimum, but this is a very you can already see 16-10. So you can't even say this is one-sided. Oh hell no, this is still very much competitive. Both of these teams are heading off against one another, even though the side of Apex Sports, their backs are against the wall. They're still able to turn it all around, but the fight needs to be taken there, my man. You can't just run away from it. Didn't try to take the fight. No one came in as backup. They're spread out in between way too much, and that's what's really costing them.
Exactly, I mean... what just... Yeah, Zeb, where did he just get that kill on the Northern Blue? I'm not really sure what Northern was going for. But, alright. And yet again, that's another trade. Chignicius is also gone. So, I would have to say that so far, TRKDH, you know, I'm not gonna lie that, yeah, they're playing really, really good. And they are just playing for those trades. Apex Sports, in the meanwhile, they're sticking together. But Aggressive, I mean, as of now, I'm not witnessing a lot of results. It is close, but slowly, TRK are building up the lead.
Feels as though the kills that Apex Sports are getting are just too far in, and that's what's and the fact that this problem is just compounding more and more and more.
Exactly. And as of now,
see, this is why they're losing out. Look at the way that they're spread out all across the map. TRKDH, their players are focusing on one angle, and that's pretty much it.
exactly. So far, I have to say that side of, you know, TRKDH, yeah, like you mentioned, I have to agree with you entirely. They have control, and they're going for the kills as well. Not the Wrangler, rather the melee, and it's going to be a kill nonetheless. Now with the Wrangler, with the nade, is it going to work out? No, it won't, but still the teammates are present, the trades are present. Apex Sports, they're trying to maintain their overall presence, however they're being denied. Yeah.
I think it's starting to build up already. 34 points. They just need 16 more to try and take this one away. And ooh, good shot though. They're gonna be the ones to survive, but the melees and the fisticuffs comes in. That's gonna be a great though for AMD and Golden Blue. One by one, they're trying to fight it all, but the kills are just racking up. And Apex Sports, they're going in for a second resurgence right there. And 26. They're looking for more. Northern Bloom's gonna be able to take down one. It's gonna be Kern from the sidelines being able to take down one. And one by one, they're still the ones to try and take Kern. But look at Geoduck9, 15 kills from him. But those 15 kills are also compounded with a lot of deaths. 8 deaths. Starting to build up. The energy weapon's gonna work. And that melee just instantly shuts down these players. He's looking for more, but he cannot find this kill immediately. He's not close enough for it though. And 31-39. This is still very much competitive here, CCP.
Exactly.
These teams, they already know. Look at how safe they are playing. No one's going in for pushes. This is the first Slayer game we have seen where teams are scared and they're waiting for the other to make the mistake.
Oh, we are seeing a long range battle take place again. The shields of Karan almost were about to go out. His teammates are there. It's gonna be a quick trade, and yet again, the teams they're being fairly cautious with their business right now. They don't want to overpeak a single angle. They don't even want to peak an angle. However, it's going to be TRK taking the charge with the energy sword, and they're going to bring the fight to the members of Apex Sports. And in doing so, they will get another kill. Northern Bloom falls down. It's a 3 versus 4. It's gonna be a quick respawn. However, the points are favoring the team in purple. They've got the energy weapons. They've got the alien weapons as well. Finally, Turbid and Karan, they fire back. But with this grappling hook, is it going to be a kill for Zeb Gaming? No, it's going to be a trade, but that's still a point nonetheless. 5 away are TRK from going into the semifinals.
Just goes to show that at one point you just need a small little bit of a change and it's already done and dusted. They have lost it all primarily because of them just going in a little bit too aggressive on too many fronts and spread themselves out way too often, and that's what's really costing them. And look at how the movement is being played as well from their members. Oh my god! Nine immediately swaps out from one over to the second and gets those kills.
1 point.
20 kills for Geoduck9. He has been on a rampage with his buddies. And at the very end, Apex Sports, they were just not able to finish it all off. You have to say that it just took a little bit of time for TRKDH to completely put the Apex Sports under a chokehold and completely shut them down. That was beautifully done and a chef's kiss level of performance from their end. But at the same time, you have to give to Apex Sports and say that they performed really well. They didn't perform badly. They just didn't have the crossfire setups on the similar level as TRKDH. And that's one of the main reasons why they just lost it all out.
Yeah, absolutely. This wasn't a case of, just like being new, being amateur, being bad, or anything along the lines of that, but it was more a case of just being not as experienced as your opponents, right? Your KDH, their members, especially Geoduck9, that guy was on fire. He could not be stopped. We'll quickly have a look at the highlights as soon as we can bring those up as well. And it showed for a significant portion of the highlight reel, he was in charge. He was the star of the show right there, and everything revolved around him. And he ended up getting, I believe, in both the maps and in both the game modes, he got like 20 kills exactly, or maybe a bit more in the first one. But he reached the 20 mark. That's 40 kills in total. Insane performance right now. And again, you the viewer as well, you can get all of these performances in so many games, especially Halo Infinite, along with multitudes of others. If you head on over to the Xbox Game Pass, again, so many games, different genres, and obviously you can get the Xbox Game Pass for free on select laptops with AMD Ryzen. But for now, we'll be having a look at my favorite part, the recap, the highlights of this matchup. It was a great matchup, and I really want to see what happens, starting off with none other than a camo melee. You know this match was destined for greatness.
Yeah, the camo came in. I thought it was an overshield for a second because they both have the same animations, and I forgot that this one doesn't have an overshield. So, TRKDH, they were just on a different level when it came down to their coordination. The way they threw out their grenades, everyone just played it beautifully. Like the double bounces and then the surrounds, just look at them. They're running around as if they own the place. And that should not be the case whenever you're playing on Recharge. If you lose a tiny bit of the map, you know you're gonna get shut down in other fronts.
That was the case. I mean, there was like a solid 25-40 seconds when no one from Apex Sports, regardless of what they tried, they could not get map control. Like, they had to brute force bluntly their way through the defense of the RKDH in order to finally get map control, in order to finally spread out, and then, not be stuck at spawn, not be grouped up. But yeah, for a brief moment, the team in purple, they had that entire chokehold all over the map, sheer domination, sheer presence, and nothing could have been done about it from the members of Apex Sports, but that was soon later overturned. However, the result of the game wasn't.
It just goes to show it's much more of a problematic situation than we know of. But I guess it's fine because at the end of the day, it is the much more better team to win it all down. And TRKDAs, they just showed their performances on a different level. And they also did gain information that game number 4 will not happen because Deadbeats, they have just forfeited their match. against
Unfortunately, yeah.
Sentinels. And that's going to be a sad one because we were expecting a pretty good matchup between both of these teams because from what we heard, Sentinels, they have a lot of hype surrounding them.
Yeah, I mean, surely now we'll get to see them in the semifinals. I was really hoping for an appetizer, an excellent way to end the day. However, we can have a look at the brackets and we can see the future matches that we will be seeing shortly later down the road. But this concludes our quarterfinals. We started today hyping up against QQC Esports 2-0, JBGN 2-0, TRKDH 2-0, and then we had a forfeit 2-0. We did not see oddball entirely. But you know what, Aggie? Because semi-finals and finals are going to be best of fives, we are destined to see oddball, and that brings me a lot of excitement. Plus, we are destined to see amazing matchups. I mean, I think I speak for everyone when I say High Ping versus JBGN is something they're looking for. This is like a mini grand finals in of itself. I am so looking forward to seeing what happens there.
I do believe that JBGN is going to be in a pretty tough spot of their own because from what I've heard, Paradox and his gang haven't really been playing the game as much. So let's just see how it all goes. They have the aim to back it up for sure. They're aim stars on their own right, but on the other side of the spectrum, Hyping, they have the aim and also the game sense because we have seen them just completely run amok on any of the maps. And I really hope that JBGN, they do their homework and actually ban out Livefire because if Livefire is there, oh God, I'm pretty sure we're gonna be sitting for a very one-sided affair if they're not careful. Let's just see how it all goes down because the next match is gonna be hype for sure.
Absolutely. So the semi-finals, then the finals as well. I mean, considering, Gracie, this is the first time we're seeing any Halo Infinite tournament here in the region, I believe like professionally in a broadcasted environment in front of an audience, this is the first time these teams are meeting up against each other. They may have held scrims behind the scenes, improvements. Every team does that, every single esports titles. But for the record, this will be the first time we'll be seeing them up against each other. I want to see where that leads up. But for now, this concludes our quarterfinals. What a day we have had. It's been a long one. It's been the matches. They've been, I mean, it was a good way. Okay, it was a great end. Earlier matches, yes, they were one-sided. I really can't deny that. However, it was entertainment nonetheless. So I hope everyone watching, all of you guys enjoyed it as well. Make sure you follow the Esports Club on all of their socials so you do not miss out on the next time we go live with the Halo Infinite Cup. We've got the semi-finals remaining, the grand finals, and obviously we've got the streamer event, the Streamer Quest as well. Who can ignore that? It's gonna be Slayer Game Mode, 10v10, round robin format, 2 days of absolute action blast. So again, don't miss out on that. One final time, again, make sure you get the Xbox Game Pass, especially on select laptops with Ryzen processors. But for now, this concludes our stream. This concludes day 1 of the Community Cup. We'll see you guys very shortly. So take care and bye-bye.
You're always on your game during work time. Now, take the work out of game time. And creating your best edit requires time to make the right cuts. So, we help cut render times. Get the processing power to do it all. Join the gamers and creators who know the pure speed of AMD Ryzen processors. Those who know performance know AMD Ryzen.